we're going to be talking about why you should choose Australia as a country to come and study. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a really clear idea about what some of the key selling points are for coming to Australia compared to other countries. And while we do that, we're going to explore this utterly remarkable place. Thanks for joining me. Let's get started. How good is this?
Yeah, it's awesome.
G'day and welcome to Choosing Your Uni. I'm Rob Malicki, and in today's episode, we are in the most special place in Australia, and honestly, one of the most spectacular. Of course, it is the mighty Uluru. Well, firstly, Australia has a world-class higher education system, 40 universities, and we've got a bunch of them in the top 100, a bunch of them in the top 200, and pretty much all of them would be in the top 1,000 universities in the world. Which, if you look on a global scale, like compared to somewhere like the UK where you have 130 universities, or the USA where there are 4,000 universities, maintaining that level of quality across the entire system is very, very difficult, and that's something that Australia has done very, very well. Not only are the universities themselves very strong, but the regulation that maintains and oversees the university is also really good in Australia. The Australian government has spent a lot of effort to make sure that institutions are reviewed and audited at the most every 7 years to ensure that students, when they attend institutions, get really good quality outcomes. And that's not that common around the world. So having that kind of government oversight and review as part of a common process means when you study at an Australian university, you can be very confident that the level of education is going to be really good. Not only are the Australian universities themselves audited by the Tertiary Education Quality Standards Agency, TEQSA, it's quite a mouthful, but the government also collects a whole bunch of student satisfaction data and information about graduate outcomes, so how students have done in terms of getting a job after their degree. And in the interest of transparency, they publish all of that data so that you can actually get hold of the real opinions of the people who've studied at all of the Australian universities, and that's pretty much unprecedented anywhere in the world. So this data you can find on a website which is called Compared, as in Compare Ed. It's a fantastic resource where you can compare Australian universities and look at things like student satisfaction, breaking that down degree by degree, subject area by subject area, job outcomes, starting salaries, all sorts of different stuff. All of that data is available. That is a fantastic, transparent resource and a great reason to come to Australia, because you're going to know exactly what you're getting. The on-campus experience at Australian universities is really exceptional. Universities have spent a long time fostering their engagement with students through things like clubs and societies. Student unions in Australia are very strong, which means lots of opportunities to get involved in a very wide, diverse array of activities, which is obviously a really good thing. But then on top of that, extracurricular activities that universities put on, so things like leadership programs, career development opportunities, international study programs, internships, work integrated learning. These things are all really important in Australian universities because Australian universities are really focused on getting students into good jobs at the end, which means they want to make sure you have the best possible experience and get the best possible skills. Let's talk about graduate outcomes, because when you go to university, of course, at some point you're going to finish, and either you're going to be going on to do further studies or hopefully going to be getting a job. And Australian University is very transparent about the graduate outcomes of their students. For example, all of the data is published on the Compared website, and you can look at literally university by university, degree by degree, and see how long it takes on average for students to get a job. But students do get jobs in Australia. The economy is very good here compared to the rest of the world. And if you are an international student interested in coming to study in Australia, we do have a very generous post-study visa system in place so that you can stay in the country for a good period of time afterwards to make the most of your degree and get some working experience too. And obviously that's part of the whole package, is once you study, get some work experience, and then you're ready for whatever comes next. Other reasons to come and study in Australia, well, we've got some of the most extraordinary landscapes for you to come and travel to and see in the entire world. And it's a country that's been built on immigration for the last 200 years. And as a result, we have this amazing cultural mixing pot in our cities and in our suburbs and in our universities, where you can really get a taste of the entire world in one place. So we're extremely lucky to have such diversity of food and art and music and culture all in one place, all embedded in this incredible ancient landscape. It's unique in the world. You know what, finally, we Australians are pretty easygoing bunch. Yes, we like to work hard and play hard too, but as serious as we can be, we also like to have a laugh and to take the piss, is what we say. It's like to have a bit of a joke and at our own expense. So we'd love to have you down here in Australia, studying with us at one of our awesome world-class universities.